for the better. And what's amazing about that to me, what's special about it, is none of you joined that campaign because you thought it would be a shortcut to a White House job, or even to podcasting fame. You did it because you believed. You believed in our candidate. You believed that we could run a different kind of campaign. You believed in yourselves. You believed in each other. And you believed that this country desperately needed change it could believe in. And I think for most of us, that's why those Obama campaigns remain so special in our heart. Because on that campaign battlefield, for a very short period in our lives, we were our best selves, doing our best work, for the best reasons, with the best colleagues, for the best mission you'll ever be a part of. And that is such a rare and special thing. So you worked 18, 20-hour days. You were missionaries because you believed. But you were not naive, hapless idealists. You combined the most powerful thing, which is missionary with mercenary. You brought your talent, your skill, your drive, your fight, your innovation, your creativity. You were even willing to throw a punch or two when it was necessary to get us across the finish line. You were not in it to make a point.
I was the one getting punched.
You were in it to win the presidency of the United States of America.
Million.
And you did win that fucking thing twice. Now, speaking of twice, in this country's long history, the only presidents that won more than 51% of the vote 2 times are as follows: Andrew Jackson, Ulysses S. Grant, William McKinley, Franklin Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, and our next speaker, joined by America's best First Lady ever, Barack and Michelle Obama.
Oh, hey.
Come on, get the chant going.
Now we're getting close. B-Rock.
Hey, everybody! Are you fired up?
There you go.
Are you fired up? Fired up?
There you go.
You're ready to go to the bar is where you're ready to go. You're ready to go party. Let me make a few observations. I love you back.
All right.
Point number 1. I've been wearing a jacket all day. And then right as I was about to come out, I suddenly realized, I can't wear a jacket. I gotta get the jacket off and roll those sleeves up. That's point number 1. Point number 2. I don't know yet. Just roll with me. Point number 2. Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama does not go to things that are not on her schedule a week ahead of time. Does not happen. She does not call audibles, and this is close to her bedtime. She had a special East Wing event because they're kind of snobby that way. They have better food, more expensive liquor at their events. And as we were driving over here, we suddenly get a call. And Amos, my aide, he's my new Reggie Love. And so Amos says, "Oh my God, And I thought, what happened? I thought something tragic had taken place. He's all like, Mo wants to come. So point number 2 is, not only do I love you, but Michelle Obama loves you. Point number 3, I did not appreciate backstage David Axelrod saying that your hair was all black in the video. It was, but you know what my response was? I know I still look good. That's point number 3. And point number 4. It's not as warm as it was 15 years ago. And it's true, my hair is gray. And I generally don't engage in nostalgia. I think a lot of times when you're looking backwards, you miss what's in front of you, and you forget what's ahead. And you over-romanticize things. I wrote the first volume of my memoirs, and then I've got a second volume, and that I'm in the middle of writing, and it's painful, because I'm a slow writer, and as it is, Michelle's books outsell mine, which kind of makes me, so I'm already feeling a little, inadequate as I'm sitting there and I'm stuck. But part of why I don't feel nostalgic sometimes is I actually have really, Michelle will tell you, I've got a good memory. And I remember how hard that campaign was. And I remember how many mistakes I made. And I remember how much sacrifice my family made. And I remember the role that luck and happenstance played in us being successful. And I'm often critical of my own performance, and as I write about the presidency, I'm acutely aware of all the things that were left undone. And I'm acutely aware of how much hardship is out there. And I compare the headlines today and what's happening to our democracy, and I look at what's happening overseas and the heartbreak that we're witnessing unfold in Israel and in Gaza and in Russia and in Ukraine, and I ask myself questions about are there things I might have done that might have changed the trajectory of these issues. So I'm not nostalgic. But the one thing that even with this critical eye, even with sort of hard-headed assessments of the gap between what I imagined might have been possible and what we got done, the thing that actually remains true, that I'm grounded in, is what all of you did. That still feels true. It stands up to scrutiny. because there were a bunch of people who didn't necessarily know each other, and they weren't professionals, and they weren't getting paid, and they didn't, or barely got paid, and they were eating cold pizza, and they were knocking on doors in unfriendly territory, and we were making it up on the fly, but there was something honest about it. There was a sense of camaraderie about it. There was a belief that people were basically good. There was respect for people. There was consideration. People listened. We bridged divides. We tried to operate with our best selves. That part was true. That happened. And so when I think back, it's not nostalgia when I think back about that, but rather it is an affirmation of what's possible. And if that was possible then I have to believe it is possible now.
Yes! Yes!
If young people were doing that then I gotta believe that young people can do it now. And that is fuel, and that is hope. And I am grateful for that. So for us to be able to come here tonight to celebrate that honest moment, that's worth celebrating. That's worth embracing. And I hope that all of you feel that way too, and I hope that this evening, tomorrow, when you're catching up with friends, and as you then go back and continue to do extraordinary work, even if it's unsung, even if it's not in the spotlight, if you're carrying that with you, that's making the world better. You are like what Robert Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, the son, is a different story, but what his dad said about throwing that pebble in a pond, and you don't always know, the pebble seems small, the splash is small, but those ripples, you don't know where those lead us to. And each of you in your communities and in your work today, you're carrying what was true, and every time you land with the work you're doing, you're creating ripples that are making this country better and this world better. And for that, I could not be more grateful. All right? I love you guys. God bless you. Appreciate you. Are you still fired up?
Yeah, 100.